Hi, welcome to another bench tip. In this bench tip I'll be showing you how to store and organise surface mount components which you've recovered off a board. Now if you're someone like me, then you do a lot of scavenging parts of boards. I happen to operate off a little bit low budget, so that's the best way of doing it. And find a way of storing them that will make it very easy to identify them for quick use later on, and makes the identification a lot easier as well. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, what we're going to need is a sharp knife. You can do it with a pair of scissors if you like. It's a bit more difficult. A pen. I'm using a Sharpie marker, but that's only optional. You can even do it with a pencil if you want. That's just for marking. And I use yellow electrical tape because it's not sticky as like packing tape, and I use yellow because the components will stand out a bit more. See, I've got some components here. They're hard to see because they're dark and the desk's slightly dark. And then what you need somewhere to mount them is a piece of card. Some people use, well, I've used cardboard before, but it's up to you. Now this is from an old ring binder, which I got cheap on the back to school sales last year. Stiffer the better, some people would say, but I don't mind. Anyway, here's basically the idea. I made this one a while back. Basically, it involves cutting a hole just big enough to put your component in, and then sticking tape on the back. That way the components will stick on, and you see I wrote the identification for these components on them to make it easier. So anyway, but in this case I'm actually going to go and add another one to this. So without further ado, let's start. So basically I start by cutting a slit down. Not the neatest, but I'm sure an artist could do a bit of a better job. And then, there we go, and that should just fall out like that. So there we go. So you want to make sure it's at least wide enough for your component to fit in comfortably, with enough room either side for your tweezers. And then you just get your tape. Like I said, I use yellow because it's easier to see the components behind the yellow tape than say a black tape. But you're free to use whatever colour you like. I've used green before. Okay. Now the biggest problem with this is sometimes you see it collects all sorts of dust and that, which is the hardest problem. Okay, so now now this is ready. You can start putting your components in. See, I got some. So can I get that in this shot, or is it just? Is it going to be too blurred? Anyway, these are 1 ohm resistors. Never know when you need those. So just place it on. And the thing about the surface mount resistors is the codes are easy to read, much faster than decoding the colour code on the normal through-hole resistors. There we go. And basically, if you need to use them, you just pull them off. It saves a bit of time digging around in a junk box. See, there we go. See, 1 ohm. Simply done. There is an alternative method which I have used, which I'll show you here. This involves, I didn't cut anything. What I did is I just stuck the tape, sticky side up, and used tape along the side to hold it in place. Now this kind of works, except it sticks to everything. You get a lot of stuff stuck to it. That's a little messier. And yeah, so basically what I do with these components, I use a component checker to check the values of like the capacitors and inductors and stuff, and then I stick them on. Makes it a little easier, but it's a simple idea. Can save quite a bit of time for most people. Okay, that's that tip. I hope it's useful for anyone who wishes to use it. I've been doing it quite a few years. I've probably got several of these knocking around somewhere that I've misplaced. And the thing is, if you use it on an old piece of card like this, you could stick it in a binder, but the only problem is you've got to find a way of making sure the pages don't stick together. But I suppose if you cut just enough to cover the components you actually take off at the time, then there's less chance of that happening. Yeah. So anyway, I'll be back with more bench tips soon, and thanks for watching. And if you enjoy it, please like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks very much. Goodbye.